Welcome back to your capstone. We are working on Form 6 and Form 7 today. So Form 6, once you've completed your hazard analysis on all of your relevant ingredients and your processing steps, you will have used your decision-making tree to identify your critical control points. So what's great about Form 6 is that if you completed Form 3, you're almost done. So, oh, come on, let me cut and paste here. Come on. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to scroll down past here, and I'm going to take my flow diagram. And in the case of my CCPs, I have now identified where they are, and I'm just going to adjust my diagram accordingly so that I have a lovely little addendum to my diagram. So that's it. Anywhere on your process flow diagram, you are going to highlight where your CCPs are. You may, if you prefer, want to highlight them with a different coloration, but that's it. Form 6 is just an overlay of your CCPs in your process. Now, I don't know if anyone is doing SQF. If you were doing, for example, SQF level 3, which is congratulations if you decided to do that, because that's a lot of work. But if you were doing SQF level 3, where they expect you to integrate your quality control points, QCPs, into your process, you would overlay them at this point too. I do not expect you to do that, but as you noted from your quality assurance, quality control part of the capstone, you could be taking advantage of your flow diagram and overlaying your quality control points and where you would monitor them in your process flow. For the purposes of your HACCP program, however, if you are doing FSEP, if you are doing SQF level 1, level 2, if you are doing BRC, they do not expect you to overlay your quality control points. SQF level 3 is your one program where you're overlaying those quality control points. That's it. Form 6 is done. Form 7 is a form that always gives people a bit of a headache. And I always find weird Form 7s. Form 7, in essence, is a statement identifying if hazards are being passed on to the consumer. For ready-to-eat products, you would assume this product is not hazardous. It is ready to eat in its current status. This form is typically used for products that need additional processing, either in a B2B scenario, business-to-business scenario. For example, if I was a business buying chicken cutlets that needed to be cooked additionally, or if I was selling a product to grocery retail, so a B2C scenario where there is cooking instructions provided to the customer. These are hazards that would be mitigated by the customer. So that could be a business-based customer, or it could be a consumer-based customer. So for any product that is ready to eat, you had better have no hazards. And so I always recommend, if you are leaving a blank page in a HACCP program, do not leave it blank. It implies to an auditor, it implies to an inspector that it has been forgotten and that someone has ignored this document. In this case, type something like NA or not applicable. And that way, an inspector or an auditor knows that you haven't forgotten to fill out this form, that you actually have thought about it and it is not applicable to your product. So thinking of my favorite banana muffins, it should be not applicable. My banana muffins are ready to eat. There should be no hazards relative to this product. Now, we were talking about raw sausage in the previous video, the part 2 video of Form 5B. And perhaps, so if I've got plan name raw sausage, I can't spell today, but that's okay. As we mentioned before, there's no cook step, there's no lethality step to reduce bacterial load. And so we would have presence of pathogens in product. And how is this hazard addressed? Well, if we think about it, we would typically be cooking this product. Cook to internal temperature of, 71 Celsius? Whatever the relevant internal temperature is for the class of product that you're working with. So cook to internal temperature. In general, Form 7 is almost exclusively the domain of hazards that need to be cooked out. But there are other scenarios where you may see Form 7 being used. In general, you are developing consumer products and most of those hazards should be mitigated appropriately. But just to illustrate where you may be using Form 7 in unique or different ways, let's say, for example, you were an importer of raw grains from some developing country in some far-flung continent. For example, you may be needing to deal with insect infestation or with stones or other pieces of particulate, and you may be needing to list this. Now, this is a product that shouldn't be going directly to consumer. It should be going for cleaning prior to distribution to consumer. But for the sakes of, let's say you want to import this product and then do cleaning of this product in Canada, you may be listing such things as physical hazard, presence of hazardous extraneous material, stones, and so on. How could this hazard be addressed? Air classification or sifting, bolting, etc. Perhaps it's the presence of insects in your product. How could this hazard be addressed? Use fumigation at the appropriate level using regulated ingredients. So, Form 7 is more commonly seen for business-to-business applications because, again, you do not want to be passing on hazards directly to consumers at any point. The industry has better mechanisms to deal with hazards. But there are occasional times, and you want to be providing sufficient detail to show that your hazards are addressed in products where there is the possibility of a hazard being present. Hope this makes sense. Forms 6 and 7 should be pretty straightforward to fill out. As always, if you have questions, you are welcome to drop by one of the one-on-one meeting slot times, or always welcome to send me an email. Take care.